Yo guys, what is going on? Blossom is back and welcome back to another episode of Top Drives. Now before we get into today's video, I just want to say I do apologize if I'm blowing my nose throughout the video. I'll try and edit it out, but again, I have fallen ill. My immune system this year is the worst it has ever been, and it's just really sad because like I eat healthy, I live healthy, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any of that. And this is like the 5th time this year that I've gotten like a cold. It's really annoying, and I think the main issue to that is like I just don't get good quality sleep. I live in the middle of the city and I wake up and I'm a very light sleeper and I just don't get good sleep, man. I think that's the main reason. But anyway, hopefully I won't need to blow my nose too much throughout the video, but let's talk about another thing that blows, and that is this pack right here. It is Chariots of the Gods, or Gods of the Chariots of the Gods, I think that's what it is, which is literally just a rebadge Ride of the Valkyries. We have seen this tag before. This is literally Ride of the Valkyries, and they just added a little bit more ultra rares to it. Like, that's it. So right here I'm going to put a photo of the epics and some of the legends from Ride of the Valkyries, and then I'm going to put, you know, the Chariots of the Gods. They're literally almost the same, just a bunch of crappy Diablos and some Gumperts. Like, that's literally it. But today we're going to be getting into the video and reviewing the pack, and let's see if Chariots of the God is worth opening. Obviously this is the pack that you need to open to succeed in the most I guess the most present legendary challenge, where you can win the alpha as well as some other pretty cool prize cards. So let's get into it. As always with Dirk Kaiser, Daily Driver, Frequent Provider, Pernicious Ulcer, and Hot Garbage. Now I want to start off with the all-surface tire cars, which I really feel like it's unfair for me to put the Skoda Yetis in Hot Garbage because we don't know too much about them just yet. Here, I'll show you the times, right? As you can see, like, it's such a brand new car, and obviously like people aren't really bothered to put in times for an RQ50 all-surface tire car, let alone fully upgrade one. So there are barely any times with the Skoda Yeti. But what can I say with the experience that I've had playing this game? The good thing about the Skoda Yetis is that they're really lightweight. They come in at less than 1,500 kilograms, which, you know, makes me think that they might be pretty decent in like the snow. But then again, we don't know that yet because no one has put in any times besides this one twisty circuit. That being said though, that's the only good thing. It's just the weight. The handling could be better at 79. The 0 to 60 definitely is a lot weaker compared to the Chrysler Aspen's 5.8 compared to, you know, 6.4 for example. The Mercedes-Benz's 5.9. The Nissan Murano is more handling at 81 with more RQ. So it's pretty hard to tell, but at the end of the day, like how much can you actually rely and expect on an RQ50 all-surface tire car? Not only is it a really weak niche in top drives, but it is like, you know, among the worst. So I'm going to put it in Hot Garbage. The Chrysler Aspen Hybrid, I'm actually going to bump it up to Pernicious Ulcer. Why? It's because it has a slight bonus of being a Chrysler, and Chrysler times 5 is one of the, I would say, rotational requirements in clubs. Now, I know that some people don't care about clubs at all, so at the end of the day, like, Pernicious Ulcer and Hot Garbage isn't a massive upgrade, but I will use the Chrysler Aspen a lot more than the Skoda Yeti. When you think about it in clubs, whether you play it or not, if it's 5 times Chrysler, road less taken, the Aspen Hybrid is the only all-surface tire / off-road car that you can use for the entire brand. So if you have that car, that's a guaranteed cash cow. So I have to think about that. There's no Skoda times 5 in clubs, and I don't think there ever will be because Hutch doesn't like to touch clubs. And this is where I need to blow my nose for the first time. So let me edit this out. Back, I should probably put like a runny nose counter or something like that. But yeah, ultimately, Skoda is something that we're not going to see in clubs probably ever. I don't think Hutch is ever going to touch clubs, which is just depressing, honestly, because if they don't, this game's going to die sooner than a lot of people will think, honestly. I'll make a video about that, but I got some really pessimistic videos coming up, to be honest. All right, moving on is the Alfa Romeo Mito GTA. I'm going to put that in Pernicious Ulcer. They're more and more specialists RQ50 and 51 cars coming to top drives with every single update with APGP and even ENW, where hybrid cars like the Alfa Romeo Mito are getting more and more useless. The Mito was always prided itself, I guess, on the fact that it had decent handling and a very low 0 to 60. But now we have dragster specialists, like a lot of them, not just the Charger 3, and we have a lot of twisty specialists at RQ51 and 50. Think about the Citroen Saxo, or what else? The Ginetta G50, or the Mazda MX-5 Cup, or whatever it's called, right? Like, there's so many where with every edition of these specialist low RQ twisty cars, the Mito just gets more and more useless. Next up is the Chrysler Phaeton, and I'm going to put that in frequent provider. As an American car, it has a lot of relatively decent niches. It's kind of like the Mito in a sense, where it is trying to be like a hybrid jack of all trades kind of car, but the Phaeton has a little bit more advantages compared to the Mito. The Mito only has 0 to 60 and somewhat decent handling. The Phaeton at least has really good MRA. Also, it is from the 90s and it's American, where, you know, the US usually tends to have a smaller pool of cars than Italy does. I actually need to double check that when it comes to ultra rares alone, but I do feel that Italians just have a more competitive playing field compared to American ultra rares in the game. Most American ultra rares are literally just like, oh, all surface tire off-road drag, that's it. Like, there are not a lot of twisty cars. Honestly, all I can think of is like not even the Honda, not even the Acura NSX anymore, because that's considered Japanese now. So yeah, I mean, the Phaeton is just slightly better. And again, you know, when it's Chrysler 5 times in clubs, the Phaeton is a car that I tend to use pretty often. Next up is the Ford Kuga 2.5 ST. Much like the Skoda Yetis, there's not a lot of info about this car, and much like the Skoda Yetis, the main thing about the car is that it's lightweight. It's a slightly better car compared to the Skoda Yetis, so I think it's only fair to put it up to Pernicious Ulcer, and that's about it. Moving on is the Ford Taurus Show. So that's another one that I kind of want to show you guys. So let's get rid of that one. The Ford Taurus Show is this one right here, this comparison. So for RQ63s and 62s, the Ford Taurus SHO Show is the best car for a city street. Small, fast circuit, second best on the fast circuit rolling, as well as Canyon Tour. The moment you put in the RQ64s, though, then obviously the Ford Taurus Show isn't going to be the best option anymore. I mean, for example, if I were to put in the brand new Volvo S60 T6 all-wheel drive, which is 2 RQ higher, we put the times in that, and as you can see, it is going to be the better car. But when you take that away, the Ford Taurus Show actually isn't that bad. One thing that I need to remember from this comparison, though, is that the Peugeot 205 T16 is a freaking beast. Honestly, like, I think that the Lancia Delta Integrales are pretty good, but the Peugeot 205, now that's the car to really think about, honestly. Like, that is the car to keep. So if I have any duplicates of the 205, this is definitely a car that I want to max out, because I know I have duplicates of the Delta Integrale too. And honestly, 63 RQ is just crazy for this car. There was a time when it was like 60. I just can't fathom the fact that it's like 63 now. Like, bro, it's 61 MR. Why did the four-wheel drive cars go up in RQ? Like, why did the Delta go, like, the Ford Taurus Show was like 59 at one point. The Peugeot 205 was like 59 or something like that. Why are they all so high now? It doesn't make any freaking sense, man. But that being said, yeah, the 205 is great. The Ford Taurus Show it's all right. I wouldn't say it's one of the worst performing 62s. It's okay. I would put it in frequent provider. Moving on is the Holden Callius. Honestly, Pernicious Ulcer. It has a lot of niches, like, you know, saloon, medium ground clearance, 5-seater, Australian, all that kind of stuff. But obviously, it is just an RQ50 Ultra at the end of the day. There are better options to use. The Holden Commodore Collide, this one, I mean, honestly, I have it in my garage and I max it. I promise you, I've not used it once. There never has been an event where it has prompted me to use it even once. I need to blow my nose again. So yeah, move the counter up to 2. I'll have to edit this out. Oh man, I'm back. You do not want to see my trash can, bro. It's just filled to the brim with Kleenex. Anyway, moving on is the off-roader, the Mitsubishi L200. I'm going to put that in Der Kaiser. That is one car that guarantees you value. As you can see, it's an RQ52. It remains competitive among cars that are higher than it, like the 56 Nissan Xterra, which honestly should go down, and the 58 Ram Rebel. I mean, the Xterra is basically the definition of an all-rounder, and how all-rounders provide no value, honestly. You know, it doesn't win anything. You'd rather just use a Mitsubishi L200, and if you want to save even more RQ, you can take that away. You can go with the Ford Bronco Concept, which is like the second tier car. The moment I put in the Ford Bronco Heritage Edition, though, that ends up being the best car, but the Mitsubishi L200 actually still is the best on G-Force and Slalom, which is very, very impressive, to be honest. So yeah, the Mitsubishi L200 is very, very good, a great bargain for you to use, and definitely is Der Kaiser. Moving on to the TVRs, they're also going to be Pernicious Ulcer. These are cars that I never ever use, whether it's the 90s niche, the British niche, the rear-wheel drive convertible niche, whatever it is, the TVR is like not even like the 5th tier option for me. Obviously, if you are a beginner player and all you have is a TVR, then yeah, obviously all these cars are going to be useful if you don't have anything else. But obviously I need to judge it from, you know, an aspect where, you know, it's competing with every single car in the game. TVRs honestly don't bring much to the table. They got really low 0 to 60s. In a sense, they're kind of like the Alfa Romeo GTA. They got low 0 to 60s. That's it. They no MRAs to back it up. Handling could be better. Just honestly, being a jack of all trades car in top drives if you're not the best jack of all trades car, you are the worst. It's a very, very, very what's the word I'm looking for? Like there's no mercy in this playing field. There's no mercy in that niche. It is very cutthroat. Now moving on to the epics, we still have the Alfa Romeo Pandion. I'm gonna put that in Pernicious Ulcer as well. Honestly speaking, like I haven't maxed. I maxed it out for a Tri-Series. Again, one of those epics where I had to just do it for the prize car, and I never used it since. Even in Alpha 5 times in clubs, I don't even use the Pandion. I have a maxed out 164 Pro car. I have a max TZ3. I have 2 max TZ3s. And again, you may not have those max TZ3s and Pro car, but I have to judge everything in a general sense. The Pandion just is too far down the pecking order, and it only gets up to 95 handling when you max it out, which is not very strong. Moving on are the Diablos, and it's just not a good look, honestly. The Diablos are hot garbage, at least the red one. It's fallen so far from grace. I remember when it used to be 72, and with every update that it comes out, like the cars just continue going down and down and down and down because, you know, there are better cars coming into the game. It's literally 65. In the future, it's probably going to be an ultra rare, and as an ultra rare, I think it'd be really good, but as an epic, it brings no value. The Diablo SE30 is going to be Pernicious Ulcer. It's a slightly better version than the red Diablo, but that's not really saying much. Then we end up with the VT Roadster and the VT. The VT Roadster is honestly pretty terrible. And if you want to use the best of the best, it'll be the VT, which I will put in Daily Driver. It used to be legendary, and as a legendary, it would be hot garbage, but as an epic, it actually is all right. Like I do value it, and I did sell it for like 300k or whatever I had it for. So I'll show you the comparison over here, but I need to blow my nose again, so I'll be back in a second. God, I'll be honest, the cold, like the runny nose thing is the worst thing in the world. Honestly, like I think it's due to bad sleep, but also really bad weather. It is incredibly hot and humid here. It is, I'm kind of sad. I miss the snow. I miss the winter. I'm more of a cold-blooded person in terms of the fact that, you know, the views that I have. I'm not going to get into those political views. But also, like, you know, just the fact that, like, I just like the cold, honestly. But anyway, let's get back into it. Yeah, the Diablo, where is it in this comparison? The 77 BT? Yeah, it's all right for the drags. It's got really good MRA, right? It's got like 102 MRA. It's the best four-wheel drive, low ground clearance, epic performance tire car for the half mile, the 1 mile, the 0 to 120, the 0 to 150, which is all really good. Loses to the Mercedes-Benz on the quarter mile, which is fine. The Mercedes-Benz is a way lower 0 to 60. But honestly, when you're the best of the best for the VT, it's completely fine. But when you're second best, like the Diablo VT Roadster, then things kind of tend to fall apart a little bit. When you look at it in the twisty sense, I mean, honestly, these Lamborghinis are not going to survive. Like, they are some of the worst cars here. I'm also comparing it to the 111 Legendaries that you can get from God's Chair to the Gods or whatever. And honestly, from a realistic standpoint, no one's actually going to max out the VT 6.0 and the VT 6.0 SE out because they are just absolutely terrible at what they do. It's funny though, because if I even put in the fully upgraded times for the Diablo VT, I think Wyatt actually has one. It still loses to the freaking Epic, which is so depressing, honestly. I mean, if there was a fully upgraded, yeah, it still loses. It's terrible. These cars are terrible. Anyway, I didn't blow my nose again. I think this time I need to sneeze, so give me a second. Anyway, I'm back from my, I believe is the fourth cut or something like that. That was a sneeze there. But yeah, this is a little bit of foreshadowing. I mean, obviously, I think you guys already know that those Diablo Legendaries are definitely going to go down to the hot garbage category. We might as well put them there right now. They are terrible. The Lancia Stratus HF Group 4 is also hot garbage. Honestly, that handling, it's not going to get you anywhere, especially in this day and age when the off-road tires are more competitive than ever before. Literally, you can get four-wheel drive off-roaders everywhere now. I mean, honestly, the Stratus. Here's an interesting one, actually. I didn't expect to actually compare the Stratus, but I guess we can do it real quick here on Top Drives Records. Let's go to Twisty Dirt. I want to do a 1v1 comparison between the Stratus. I need to clear the things there. The Stratus, right? And I want it against the Visa, you know, the brand new ENW car that's 58. I can probably bet you good money that the Citroen Visa is going to be the straightest everywhere. So we got times on the straightest, and we have times, okay, well, actually, it's not everywhere, so that's very interesting. It wins on G-Force, Twisty Road, and Slalom, but the Lancer still wins on Hairpin, Twisty Circuit, and then the motocross track, and all the other stuff as well. Well, let's put in the other stuff if we can. I mean, we can put in gravel, ice, sand, snow. Sure, and yeah, okay, it's a lot more one-sided. So when you take away the dirt, it's a lot more one-sided. Dude, honestly, we're talking about fully upgraded 58 compared to a fully upgraded 66 Epic, which is a lot more expensive to upgrade. Honestly, it is depressing. It's actually depressing on the straightest part. So yeah, that's hot garbage. Phaeton is also hot garbage. It used to be decent in the past, but it just isn't that good anymore. I mean, in this comparison, it's the worst car here. It doesn't even win anything. Like, it's not even close. It has the darkest reds, losing to cars within its RQ, like the Audi e-tron, the Subaru Legacy. I'm even putting in the Skoda Superb for crying out loud, because the Superb is absolute shit for an RQ78. Like, the fact that it's like trading blows with a bunch of RQ70s and 71s basically tells us how good the Skoda Superb actually is. Not very. But yeah, the Phaeton is not good. Like, honestly, it used to be decent back when the competition was really tight. You know, during Ride of the Valkyries, which was the last time the Phaeton was needed in this challenge, the Audi e-tron didn't exist, so we can take that away. The Audi A8 did not exist. The Superb did not exist. The Subaru Legacy did not exist. The CX-9, literally every single car here did not exist when the Phaeton was last used in the last tag challengers Ride of the Valkyries. So obviously, like, with all the updates coming in, it just, yeah, it sends the Phaeton to the shadow realm. It's useless. The Diablo SV as well. I mean, honestly, there's no value in that car. I'll put it in Pernicious Ulcer. Now, moving on to the legendaries, I mean, they're good. You know, when it comes to rear-wheel drive, low ground clearance, performance tire German cars, they're second best, right? Like, they're all going to be behind the 962C, which some people might say it's not fair for me to compare it to because it's, like, you know, way higher in RQ. It's also slick tires. Fair enough. If we took away the 962, then it is very strong. The Apollo N is the best car for 120, 170 hill climb. The Porsche, though, is the best for the 0 to 100 and quarter mile, taking those accolades away. And then, here's an interesting thing. The 917 is the best car, but obviously let's take that away because, oh no, it has slick tires. Then we have the 88s and the 86 being the best car. I think it's actually relatively interesting that the Enrage and the Apollo S don't even win anything. It's really quite shocking. And honestly, if I were to put in the twisty stuff, it's not like the Apollos would do any better because, well, actually the Apollo N, yes, because it has 104 handling, and it's just going to take all the names. It's going to be shared with the 911 GT2, and that's it. You know, the Enrage and the Apollo S, they're not going to win anything, which is a bit of a shame, to be honest. So let's talk about these final cars. The Enrage, oh yeah, the Apollo N isn't even in this tag. What the bloody hell? That's even worse. Well, the Enrage and the S are just meh. I'll give them, like, maybe daily driver. The Bugatti Huayra is also okay, and the Gumpert Apollo is okay as well. Like, it's that's it. I mean, the Apollo is the better dragster compared to the S and the Enrage, as we see from the times. But like, it is also lower in our. Well, I just don't. I feel like it's too generous to put in Der Kaiser, especially with the amount of cars in top drives. You have so many better dragsters now. You have those Zenvos. You have the Koenigsegg's. You have. You know, the Hennessy's, the Bugattis. I mean, yes, maybe it's a bit unfair to compare the Gumperts to all those, you know, brands that I just mentioned. But, you know, with more and more legendaries coming into top drives, I feel like, you know, back in the past, in like 2017, 2018, any legendary would almost be considered Der Kaiser because, you know, they're the best cars in the game. But now I feel like legendaries are their own little competition hub. Like, there's so many legendaries, like over 300, 400 legendaries now. Like, it's like you can't just say that all of them are the best just because of their rarity anymore. So at the most I can give these cars are daily driver, in my opinion. So yeah, overall, it's a shit pack. Don't open it. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I need to blow my nose again. I hope you guys have a great day. I said that twice, but then again, I'm gonna say this twice again. I need to blow my nose. So remember to stay safe, guys. Wash your hands and blossom out. Save your money. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly, got it. jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy. Turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy. Turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold